Hey everybody, Matumbo here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are playing some more Historic here on Magic Arena. And we are back at it as promised with yesterday's quick little update. We are back into Decktember, and we have another deck submitted by another viewer, and I am so happy to, again, be continuing this theme for this month. So again, if you're not familiar with Decktember, what we're doing is we are saying thank you to everybody for helping to grow the channel, and we are dedicating all of December to playing viewer submitted decks, and we are going to play a few games with it, and then we will talk about it, make some changes, play some more games with it, and then ultimately just see how we do overall with the deck, you know, pre-changes and post-changes. So yeah, again, that is Decktember. If you want to be considered for a Decktember submission, there's still time. I pick a random person every day. So head on over to the Discord if you want to be considered. Join the Decktember channel within the Discord, and then just check out the pinned post for the instructions and the templating for how to submit your deck for Decktember, and you could be selected. So with that being said, let's hop right into today's deck. And this deck is simply called Another Gruul Deck. And this was submitted by, we had a couple names because apparently some people were confused by the templating. But his name is Lindström in Discord, and his name that he submitted in here was Facundo. So either one of those, whichever one you want to go by. I apologize for not necessarily getting it correct, but this was submitted by Lindström / Facundo. And again, this is called Another Gruul Deck. And this looks just to be like one of your typical classic Gruul aggro decks. So it looks to be 23 land, and then a bunch of creatures, some removals, some crazy artifacts that we're going to get into. But let's take a look here. So we have 4 copies of Edgewall Innkeeper. This is a 1-mana 1/1. Whenever you cast a creature spell that has an adventure, you draw a card. So, looking at this deck, we do have 4 copies of Lovestruck Beast and Bonecrusher Giant. So Lovestruck Beast, obviously, these both have adventures. So Lovestruck Beast's adventure is called Heart's Desire. For 1 green, we get to put a 1/1 into play. And then Lovestruck Beast is a 5/5 that can't attack unless you control a 1/1 creature. We also have 4 copies of Bonecrusher Giant as our other adventure card. The adventure side is called Stomp, obviously one of the better cards, one of the better adventure cards, so to speak. Stomp is a 2-mana spell that deals 2 damage to anything. It also says damage can't be prevented this turn. And then Bonecrusher Giant is a 3-mana 4/3, and it's whenever it becomes a target of a spell, we get to deal 2 damage to that spell's controller. So it is quite the big beater, because not only is it a 4-power creature, but it also takes damage to typically remove it, unless it's a, board wipe of some kind. In the 2-drop slot, we have a couple copies of Brushfire Elemental, a 2-mana 1/1 with haste. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. And then it has Landfall. So Landfall says whenever a land enters a battlefield under our control, we actually get to give it +2/+2. So this is good, obviously, playing lands, and then lands in multiple. So something like a Fable Passage, playing the Fable Passage, then sacking the Fable Passage would pump this up to a 5/5. And then again, they're tiny creatures with power 2 or less, can't block it. 4 copies of Fire Prophecy. This actually looks to be pretty decent in a deck like this, because you get to deal 3 damage to a creature. You don't get to actually target planeswalkers or players. But if we do this, we actually get to put one of our dead cards in our hand back into the bottom of the library. And if we do, we get to draw a card. This is a good way to actually draw cards and just get rid of cards that we are not wanting. We have 4 copies of Gruul Spellbreaker. Gruul Spellbreaker in a Gruul deck obviously is going to find its home here. 3-mana 3/3. It has Riot and Trample. Riot basically says it comes into play either with haste or with a +1/+1 counter. So this is going to be either a 3/3 haster or a 4/4. And then also, as long as it's our turn, ourselves and Gruul Spellbreaker have hexproof. So this is going to protect us from cards like Settle the Wreckage. It's going to prevent cards from killing the Gruul Spellbreaker itself. They won't be able to bounce it. They won't be able to kill it with any removal. So that is worth mentioning. He is great. This is a very, very good card in a Gruul aggro deck. Now let's talk about let's talk about the rest of our deck, which happens to be all mythics. So Garruk Unleashed, 4-mana, 4 loyalty planeswalker. For the +1, we get to give one of our creatures +3/+3 and trample until end of turn. Obviously, making our beefy creatures even beefier is pretty good and pretty substantial. The -2 ability, we get to create a 3/3 green beast token, and then if they have more creatures than us, we get to put a loyalty counter on this. So potentially only putting Garrick down 1 loyalty as opposed to 2 loyalty. And then on top of it, if for whatever reason we happen to ultimate this, which I don't really have the best of luck ultimating planeswalkers, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of your end step, you may search your library for a creature card and put it onto the battlefield. So typically this is not the best ultimate for a deck like this. We would much prefer if this said at the beginning of your combat step, or at the beginning of your turn, or at the end of your opponent's turn, or something along the lines of where we actually got to utilize that creature immediately when it came into play. But nonetheless, giving +3/+3 and trample or making beast tokens should be fine in this deck. Now, Questing Beast, the best green creature on Arena. I mean, arguably without a doubt. I probably said 2 different things there that contradicted each other, but Questing Beast, 4 mana, 4/4. Let's read this novel real quick. Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste. Questing Beast can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. Whenever Questing Beast deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls. So it is going to deal all kinds of damage in all kinds of ways, and it's going to make sure that that damage cannot be prevented. So yeah. Again, Questing Beast, what were they thinking when they made this card? The Great Henge, this is one of my favorite cards. I like playing this in Brawl, singleton formats. I really like the flavor of this card. I feel like it's really well balanced. It is a 9 mana spell, but it does get cheaper based on X, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. It does tap for 2 green. You also gain 2 life when you tap it. And then whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on it, and you get to draw a card. So this potentially is going to draw you a bunch of cards in one turn if you're just playing creature after creature after creature after creature. And then again, it's mitigating a little bit of life loss, because every time you tap it, you do get to gain 2 life. And then last but not least, everybody's favorite and least favorite equipment in all of Arena, most likely, is Embercleave. So this secret 6 mana legendary equipment, it's not really 6 mana, it's never 6 mana. It has flash. It costs 1 less to cast for each attacking creature you control. So yeah, so you're attacking with 3 creatures, this only costs 3 at instant speed. If you're attacking with 4, it costs 2 mana. So pretty ridiculous. When it enters the battlefield, oh yeah, it also gets to attach to a creature you control for free. Because why not? It's a mythic. Let's just add abilities to cards that are mythic. And then equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has double strike and trample. So yeah, so you can imagine how busted this card is. It is legendary, so we do have to, consider that. But again, just one of these on the board on any one of our creatures is going to end the game. This card is busted. And again, I don't know what they were thinking. So that is the deck. Again, 23 lands we're rounding it out with. So again, thank you to Lindström / Facundo for submitting this deck list. Again, if you want to be considered for Decktember, head on over to the Discord channel, join the Decktember channel, and check out that pin post and check the formatting and just submit that template so we can get your deck considered for one of our videos. All right, with that being said, let's hop right into the gameplay. We will see you guys very, very soon. All right, well, we are playing Another Gruul Deck. That is what it is titled. That is what we are playing. So Lindström, thank you for submitting this deck. Let's see if we can just aggressively take our opponents out. It's gonna be the dream. We're going first. Do we keep this? I think we actually strangely do keep this. This isn't a great draw, but we can potentially kill something, right? Yeah, we're just gonna play this down with haste. And if they want to lofty denial it for one, that's fine. That's gonna give us a little insight on what they're playing. Interesting. Okay. You're not gonna petty theft this. Not on our turn, at least. Okay, so they are playing blue. Well, we knew they were playing blue, but they are playing the blue aggro deck. So you know what? I don't think we attack here. That's the good thing about the Spellbreaker is they can't target. And we should have misordered. This is a mistake. We should have ordered it the other way. We should have done Fire Prophecy into the other. So, all right. So now first we have to let this resolve. Yeah, we're just gonna get rid of this land. That was a good play by them, though. The octopus makes it a 3/3. Good play, good play, good play. So you do have to kind of watch out here. I don't really want to slam this questing beast yet. Yeah, I don't think we're going to put anything back. So next turn we'll slam questing beast and then attack. So they could play another cutthroat. That's fine. Opt is not a big deal. That means they don't have a cutthroat in their hand as of right now. As of right now. They could have one now, though. Might have been their draw. What the heck is this thing? Okay, you can't target us, so that's fine. So this might be the bearer of a another octopus mutate, or maybe they just have an enchantment. They could have the counter give a creature +1/+1. Yep. They do in fact have. So no attacks. That is 2 questing beasts. Let's just throw down this giant, right? What if they have another essence capture? Mystical Dispute, okay. No attacks. Okay, well their hand's getting thin. Spectral Sailor is a way to draw cards. Oh, we just misordered that. Well, they can't counter it with the Mystical Dispute now. That's good news. We have to make them use their cards in their hand. Wow. Wah wah wee wah. Okay, let's see what they draw this turn. No point in attacking. Okay, we have to just slam and go, right? Not gonna get quenched again. Really? You drew action? Wow. Wow, that's pretty good. Wow. That's pretty crazy. I was about to say. I mean, we're gonna cast this. Seems good. So I think they drew either another essence capture. Yeah, I think they have another essence capture in their hand. This should have been countered 100% here. Oh. Getting frisky. Alright, we'll take one. We'll take one. Again, this game has been full of mistakes. So this gets essence captured, and then we just hit them for 8, hopefully? Oh. Thank you. Okay. You gonna block? Because we're gonna Embercleave. Yeah, this game was just full of mistakes on our side. We're not used to playing such an aggressive deck. This is an interesting card. The Singer? It seems really good against aggro decks. It minuses a creature. Okay. Oh, this is good news. Alright, pet unsummon. Okay. Well, I mean, luckily for us, luckily for us, we just get to recast it. It actually becomes a 4/4, and then we can equip and we can attack. So, sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, on to the next game. All right, guys, game 2. We are going to Hydrate like nobody else's business. Well, in reality, it's everybody's business because we're doing it right out in the open. And we're recording it. So, and we are recording it. So let's get an opponent. Let's get an opponent. Come on. We hydrated. Maybe they're intimidated by our hydration skills. There we go. There we go. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? It is Jank21. All right, opponent's going first. This is an interesting hand. So I think we Stomping Ground into our Heart's Desire. They're on a mulligan. Oh, maybe not. No, maybe not. Are they on goblins? Are they on goblins? Alright, let's go get a forest. Go get one of our fancy Bob Ross lands. And you know what? Since we're going to play this, we're going to play our land tapped. Oh, you gotta love when 3 damage goes into a 1/1. Feels so good. Feels so good. Oh, remember? Remember that has landfall. So I think we're gonna +1/+1 here. If they really want to shock it or spend, I mean, they have to do it on their turn, but if they want to spend all of the burn on this, that is their prerogative, and they are more than welcome to do so. Yep. You watch out if we draw land. This thing's gonna be becoming a 7/7 lava runner. All right. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take 1. Oh, you did it. Ooh, do we block? Yeah, I think at this point we block if they wanna. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Whew. Well, we did not. Alright, so let's go ahead and put a Planeswalker back. Oh, perfect. Alright, so we know this has landfall. We're gonna do it now. I think this becomes a burn target. Instead of them hitting us for 6, I think they hit this elemental for 3. Oh. So they only get to cast 1 of those. They don't have a wizard. Perfect. Perfect. Alright, well, I think we are good. I think we are good here. Stomp, 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 stomp. Alright, we're looking good against mono red. But if we drew another Fabled Passage, we don't. But still pretty good. I think we have lethal here. Boom, boom. Woo. That's a lot of damage in 1 turn. So, all right. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Let's head on into the next game. All right, going into our little mini beginner final boss. We'll just call him we'll call him the mini boss. Since this is not the final boss. The final boss comes when we play our 4 games. But we will definitely refer to this as mini boss, and we are heading to Funky Town. We got the funk. This is almost the exact same hand. Oh, so I think we keep this. Yeah, we're gonna start it off with a. I don't want them to know we have red. Oh, so this is a discard deck. So they can't block. We probably get like, probably have to discard a lot here. What do we discard? Garrick. Yep. Garrick and land. All right, so Fabled Passage is pretty good. Gonna get rid of this Tiny Bones. This is gonna be an interesting matchup. These discard decks, they do have a lot of removal. Ton of removal. So I'll probably kill this Questing Beast. But that's the thing, you have to make them have it. So they might go to play the Murderous Rider here, but then we get to swing in for 5 and kill the Murderous Rider. Seems really good. And yeah, I think we just... Actually, is there any reason to do it? And we're gonna play this Bone Crusher Giant. This Crawling Barons might become a chump blocker at this point. No? Okay. This is going to cost 2 damage or 2 life to remove. Oh, nice. Odd. Alright, well, Questing Beast, bring him to 1. Bring him to 1, my friend. Alright, we're not going to play this land. All right, well, that was a good draw. That was a good draw from them. Discards a card, sacrifices a creature. All right, well, pretty good. We got oddses, ends, evenses. All right, well, if we draw a removal spell, exactly a Fire Prophecy or a Garrick. Okay, well. Or a Stomping Ground is not going to do it. No attacks. Can't even attack. That sucks. So we played the Stomping Ground there because if they attack in, which they probably will, this is going to give us a chance to actually draw a the equipment. Oh. They only have 7 mana. If they want to activate, that's fine. Let me put on full control. Do you want to turn it into a creature? Oh. Thank you. Good game. Good game. Thanks for that. Interesting. I definitely would have probably tried blocking there, or at least turned it into a creature, because that forces our hand. Yeah. So it's a good result. 3-0 here on in the practice game. So how would we rebuild this deck? Let's take a look. All right, so we managed to go 3-0 like we mentioned with this deck, and that is a great showing for a deck. Again, though, this is an aggro deck. Aggro decks are really good in historic best of one. So what are we going to do to this deck? What did we like? Well, obviously we liked most everything in this deck. Bone Crusher Giant's are really good. Questing Beast is, you know, one of the best cards in the format in general. Embercleave is up there as well. I love Great Henge. Brushfire Elemental. This might be the first time that we've actually played with Brushfire Elemental, so obviously getting used to the fact that not only does it have haste, but it also has landfall is kind of tricky. And of course, Gruul Spellbreaker is just one of those cards that's just so hard to deal with. You know, if you let it land, if it lands on our turn. So because they can't target it while it's our turn because it does have hexproof. So what really, you know, thinking about some of the cards in here that we didn't like. So I really think that in historic, we want to just be doing the most unfair things possible, especially in a deck like this. So I'm not really a fan of the Edgewall Innkeeper. I do think that we have, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do think that this is a great card draw engine because we do have Lovestruck Beast and Bone Crusher Giant, so we can be casting those creatures to potentially be drawing cards off of that. But at the same time, I mean, we're also playing Great Henge. So this also is just a massive card draw engine in itself. And then again, Garruk may not be the best card for this particular build. But there's just a lot we can be doing. You know, there's cards like Burning Tree Emissary, which are of course, they're super busted. Obviously, they were suspended at one point, then they were unsuspended. So we do have access to those. Those are uncommon, so it's not going to make the deck really expensive at all. We have Llanowar Elves, we have Pelt Collectors, we have a 2/2 haste, Gallia, I think her name is. We have access to cards like Collected Company. We have the green elephant that's a landfall creature that also counts as a land. There's just so many different cards that we have access to. And then I think, and I can't remember the name of the card off the top of my head because obviously we don't play a lot of Gruul, but there's another guy like this that's a 2/2, right? It's some kind of goblin. But he's essentially the same thing. He has Riot, and again, being able to play a 2-mana 2/2 or a 2-mana 3/3 is pretty good. So again, I think there's a ton of just different ways that we could potentially, you know, bust this wide open. And again, not sure how we're going to do this because there are so many different ways that we could be going about this. So we're going to really think about this one because we could go a bunch of different ways, and we're just going to hop in our time machine. We're going to tinker around, just really build the version that we feel like is going to be the most busted, and then we will see how that deck plays out. So yeah, so let's again hop into the time machine. We'll see you guys in a minute. All right, so we are back with Another Gruul Deck version 2.0, and as you can see, we really did do a number on rearranging this deck quite a bit. I feel like it does have a more low to the ground aggressive approach than the other deck did. Obviously we cut one of our favorite cards, you know, that came out of one of our most recent sets, and that is the Great Henge. I really think the Great Henge is pretty powerful. But, you know, again, we want to try to be more aggressive and try to just get the game over as soon as possible. So as you can see, we have a bunch of 1-drops now. We have 4 Llanowar Elves, 4 Pelt Collectors. Llanowar Elves they're gonna help get to our 3-drops on turn 2, and they're gonna help to get to our 4-drops on turn 3. So we also have a ton of 2-drops. This is really where our deck is gonna shine. So like I mentioned, while we were talking about the deck, Burning Tree Emissary, it was suspended for a reason, so we're going to highlight the reason why this was suspended. Again, this is a 2/2 creature that effectively is free because it replaces itself with the mana that you spend to it, and then at the same time, especially in multiples, if you're just having multiples of these, and then you're just dropping drop, and then, you know, Domri's Ambush to kill their blocker, or throw out a creature that has haste, another haste. Galia is really good, and then being able to play multiple creatures on turn 2 because of Burning Emissary, that's really just going to get us to Embercleave a lot faster. And again, Embercleaving in this deck, in this build of this deck, is going to be really, really good. Now, on top of that, we did remove the Fire Prophecies from the deck. I did like Fire Prophecy in the fact that it actually did let us put a card back in order to draw a card, but we're really going to also replace it with 3 copies of Domri's Ambush. Domri's Ambush is great. It actually lets us put a +1/+1 counter on something. It lets us deal damage equal to that creature's power to a creature or a planeswalker, especially with how popular planeswalkers are, especially lately after the historic tournament last weekend. But the good thing about this is it doesn't actually fight. We're actually it's a bite effect, not a fight effect. So we're actually dealing damage. We're not taking damage back on our creature. So again, really, really low to the ground, 1s and 2s. And then again, we didn't really mess with the mana base. I didn't really feel like we needed to. We added Llanowar Elves. So we still want to make sure we're drawing our land drops. And, you know, having 23 land, I feel like is still the right number, just because we're so low. We're really curving out on 4. I don't really count Embercleave as a 6-drop, because when we're going to be casting Embercleave, we're really going to be only spending 2 or 3 mana. So that is how we are going to play this Another Gruul Deck version 2 as we hop into our opponent. So let's hop into our gameplay with this deck, see how we do, and then we will meet you guys at the wrap-up. All right, game number 4, or game number 1, however you want to look at it. It is our time to shine. Not really. I mean, we went 3-0 with Lindström's deck, and hopefully we don't butcher this deck too much, because again, this is not an archetype that we play a lot of. So we're going first. We don't have any 1s or 2s, so we are going to mulligan. This is a lot better. So we are going to keep. What do we put back here? This is a tricky. Burning Tree. I hate to put. This is the best card in our deck. So on turn 2, we can Brushfire Elemental, or we can Burning Tree into Brushfire Elemental. The following turn, we can potentially Gruul Spellbreaker. Yeah, I think based on our draw, we have to. This is going to be interesting. This might not be good. We're playing against colorless. All right, let's go get a forest. Oh, right on time, Llanowar Elf. You got here right on time. All right, so next turn we're gonna attack for. Okay. Oh, this is mono white, huh? It's gonna pump. This is gonna be haste. I mean, we really have to kill them. Well, I guess we have multiple ways to deal with the lot combo, the 9 lives combo. So yep. I mean, we knew it was going to happen. We can still beat this deck. We have ways to Can't block with the Castle Ardenvale, so... Are they thinking about hitting a Rootbound Crag? I'm not really too sure about this play. This actually helps us in the long run. This thins our deck. It does thin their deck too, but... So... Okie doke. So, I mean, we really just need to get to a questing beast. Watch out for this double striking Llanowar. I mean, Llanowar represents lethal. Well, I know. Sure thing, my friend, sure thing. Thinner deck, thinner deck. It is funny that they had to name Llanowar with Gideon's intervention there. Or this Llanowar actually kills them. Real Spellbreaker, that's a good name. They have the Wrath here. Oh, I thought my Embercleave got removed for some reason. Alright, deck. One time, let's do it. This would just deal 2 damage to them. But I mean, it does it does get down a creature. Okay. So I know this doesn't do anything. So the good thing, though, about their deck is they typically only run 2 Gideon's interventions. You don't typically see them have any more than that. Alright, so this is going to be probably a Seal Away or... Oh, well, I was completely wrong. Alright, what do they name? Probably Stomp. I think it's correct, though, to name Questing Beasts because we have 4 Questing Beasts, whereas opposed we only have 3 Stomps in our library. Gem Razor. Okay, we don't have that. So we don't have Gem Razor. Alright, she got you another Solemnity. Again, a Questing Beast just ends this, right? That ends it too. I don't know why they... Yeah, let's just... Next to blockers. Alright, that should do it. Good game. And that's how you get around the old 9 live Solemnity combo by damage can't be prevented this turn. Stomp deals 2 damage to any target. So that gets around that old combo. Good game, Carolus. So yeah, so I was surprised they actually had 3 Gideon's Intervention in their deck. Don't really see that in that version a lot. But maybe it's different in Best of 1. Was also surprised they named Gem Razor. And then I'm disappointed that we didn't catch their name until the end of the game, and we could have been calling them Carolus Baskins the entire time, right? So. Alright, well, this is interesting hand. 2 Embercleaves, Pell Collector. I don't think we can keep this. This is a lot better. I think we have to put back a Bone Crusher Giant. I don't want to, but I think we have to. Alright, so this Elves is going to meet its demise with a shock. Only a 60 card deck, yep. A Lightning Strike, alright. Alright, well. Fine with a Lightning Strike. Really? We got a forest. But what are you playing over there? Alright, so we're going to play this as a 4/4. So is this like a 1,000-Year Storm deck? Okay. I mean, we're just going to go. We're just going to go fast. Take 4. I wonder if they're suckering us into a Storm's Wrath here. I think they might be. Yep. They sure did. They sure did. All right, well, we're just going to try to keep 4-ing you. Good thing about the Giant is it punishes them for having to... okay, so it is a 1,000-Year Storm deck. All right, it is a 1,000-Year Storm deck. So if we were to hit them for 6... We're going to go for 7 here. I think this is the right play. Obviously, another Storm's Wrath is not ideal. But we do get to hit for 2. They have targeted removal. They have to do it now. Bone Crusher Giant actually deals 2 damage to them. Yeah, I think they at least have a Lightning Strike in their hand. Oh. That's it? Good game, my friend. Good game. Good game. Yeah, 1000-Year Storm decks just don't seem good in against super competitive decks. You have to have really good draws, and your opponents, I feel like, have to have really bad draws. So it is unfortunate that we're playing more of a competitive deck than our opponent is. But good game nonetheless. All right, heading into our game 6, and this deck is pretty consistent. I'd love to just have an awesome draw where not only do we get to go first, but we get to just go 1 into 2 into 2 into 3 or something crazy like that. This is a crazy hand. How crazy would it be to keep this? It's all three of our Domri's ambushes. This is just like the memer's dream. You know what? I can't resist keeping some of these hands sometimes, right? What do we want to see? Not a Thoughtseize. Yeah, Llanowar Elf is probably your hit, or the Gruul Spellbreaker. We could just hit 2, 3, 4, but we have to have a target. So... oh, so they're playing actual Sultai. Yeah, we're gonna get in. We're not gonna play the other Llanowar Elf. Extinction events are a thing. Languishes are a thing. Yeah. So be it. Oh, that's fine. We were not actually going to do anything after that, so thank you for playing a spell. What do you do here?
I won't hide from the world any longer. Let's take it back.
Okay. Hold on.
I'll have a better plan next time.
All right, well, you know our hand. Wow, this draw against arguably probably one of the better decks in the format, but seeing Teferi, I'm not too sure. But this deck usually plays Uros and Nissas and whatnot, and maybe we just dodged all of their bombs. Highly doubt it, but I'm not going to complain. A win's a win. We should not have kept that hand, but I was too tempted. I really wanted to play against like a mono white deck or mono green deck and just Domri's ambush all of their aggression. So, all right, well, on to the final boss. All right, it is the final boss. Who will our final boss be? JZN 0004. What an interesting name. So, Llanowar Elf, turn 2, double pelt collector. The turn 3, who knows what's gonna happen? I mean, we've got creatures. They're on a mulligan. Okay. Now that's a little bit better. Kind of want to block, but I want to play this. So we get to play one of these before the other. It's not the best, but Elgar Gargaroth. Would you like to trade with me? All right, well, we've got some big creatures now. We just don't want to see another Elgar Gargaroth. But I don't think they have one. Okay, so activated abilities can't be used. So I can't equip it once it's in play. So let's just say we go with the whole team, right? So they'd probably block. They'd block either the 2/2 or the 3/3 or 5, 10. And then we have to worry about this flagship coming down. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking. So I don't think... Well, maybe we don't need an attack with the Llanowar Elf. Because we can just pay 4. No, we want this dead. So Karn dies. And then... yeah, I guess we just have to deal as much damage as possible.
I am proud to have fought.
So they're going to play this. They're going to kill our Pelt Collector. Can crew. That's fine. So it can crew and block. But then it's going to die to the first strike damage. This is actually pretty good, right? So he's got to block the Pelt Collector 100%. He can't block the Brushfire Elemental with the Atlanta Elf. I think we might have lethal here with the Stomp. No, maybe not. Yeah, so you have to block. You know that's lethal, right? Okay. Good game. We get to deal 5, and then we get to stomp them. Alright. I don't really know what that line of thinking was. But going down to 1 there, knowing that we're playing red, probably not the best idea, so. Alright, well, wow. We just steamrolled our opponents in a pretty respectable manner. So let's talk about this deck. Alright, everybody, welcome to the wrap-up, and this deck absolutely killed it. I feel like for multiple reasons. One of which being is the fact that we obviously made this deck a lot lower to the ground. It's geared towards playing more aggressively. You know, some cards we didn't really see that much of, like Gallia and Zhur. But to be fair, though, we did go 3-0 with the previous version, and then we went 4-0 with our version. So as you can see, we're just kind of flipping back and forth here between here, and the deck was changed quite a bit. You know, we took out the card draw engine that they were using. We went more, again, low to the ground creatures, creatures that are more unfair, creatures that I feel like just get the job done a lot faster. And again, I feel like the other reason that we also won in, you know, we were able to keep going 4-0 is due to the fact that we're playing what I would consider a competitive deck, or what could be a competitive deck in non-ranked. So again, I know some people complain that I play that I don't play ranked when I play my videos, but again, you know, I play so many different decks. I don't sit there and learn the ins and outs of all the decks before I play them. I just play, you know, what I brew or what I'm sent, and then I build what I feel like, you know, would be good in the deck or what I've seen in previous matchups, and we just go from there. So that's typically why I don't play in ranked. So sometimes we get really competitive and really, you know, a lot of meta decks in a row. Sometimes we miss them. But today I feel like we actually hit a few. You know, we saw what was probably going to be the 4-color zhur-taa deck. We saw mono blue. We saw, you know, we saw red burn. So yeah, oh yeah, and we even beat the mono white prison deck. So again, dealing with their prison lock, which they had on us, by getting around it with Questing Beast, Bone Crusher Giant, stuff like that, being able to say damage can't be prevented. So yeah, there was that. So yeah, I like this deck. If you're gonna build this deck, obviously our version is a little bit cheaper in regards to, you know, mythic rares than Lindström / Facundo's deck, but But yeah, as you can tell, I'm just switching back and forth between images. And yeah, we have a lot less mythics, but there are a bunch of rares in this deck still. Yeah, again, if you build this deck, you will most likely have luck climbing the ladder, because again, this is a very fast deck and it is very efficient, and it does what it does really, really well. So yeah, that is Another Gruul Deck for you guys. Really one of our first, but it's called Another Gruul Deck, so we have to call it that. So all right, again, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the channel. I hope you are enjoying Decktember. And again, if you want to be considered for Decktember, join the Discord, head down to the Decktember channel, and check out the pin post for the template in order to submit your deck. And also, if you enjoy the channel, please hit that subscribe button, the like button, the bell icon. Share the video with your friends and your family. Send it to your grandma. Anything you can do to help grow the channel would be amazing. And check out all the cool links down below. The Patreon, the Twitch, and the Discord. Again, Discord is super important if you want to be considered for Decktember. But yeah, with that being said, everybody, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you are staying safe. We will see you next time. Remember, this channel would not exist without such amazing viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for interacting with the channel and helping grow the community. And a very big special thank you to the Patreons listed here for supporting the channel.